Let me start off by reading to you the definition of symbolism from the dictionary, and we'll come at this scientifically so you'll understand where I'm coming from and realize why this is happening. Symbolism, 1654, is when they came up with this definition. The art of practice of using symbols, especially by investing things with a symbolic meaning or by expressing the invisible or intangible by means of visible or sensuous representations. As a artistic imitation or invention, that is a method of revealing or suggesting immaterial, ideal, or otherwise intangible truth or states. The use of conventional or traditional signs in the representation of divine beings and spirits. A system of symbols or representations. Symbolic logic. A science of developing and representing logical principles by means of a formalized system consisting of primitive symbols, combinations of these symbols, axioms, and rules of inference. Okay? So to infer something, right, versus to imply it, right, to extract it, to infer. Infer in a way that perhaps is not entirely scientific. Now think about what a sigil is. It's basically a magic symbol which is elaborating on a symbol for a more sinister purpose in popular culture and usually. So let's look at this thing. If Western language, most written languages, consist of symbols, then it implies that these were the chemists, these were the magicians, these were the builders perhaps. They weren't necessarily the spirit war artists. So African's culture is a spirit warrior not con artist, not martial artist, which is a con artist, right? Khans, Haru, Adfu, Khans, Fu, Kung Fu, Taekwondo, I've gone over this before, and so on, okay? This is proof that you are doing a magic spell when you give your version of the Bible, right? You give your version of the gospel. You start quoting scripture, right? Magic script. The three wise men are referred to as magi from the east and usually from Persia. Persia, Persians, Iranians, Iraqis, Iraq, Iran, the greater Babylonian Empire. So these were three magi from Babylon, more or less. Think about that. How does, the Persians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians, they all invaded Egypt. To make a long story short, Western culture is evil. Now, I don't like terrorists. I don't like Boko Haram. But how they've translated their name specifically is an Antichrist Babylonian translation. Should I be arrested for saying this? Well, let's explore this idea. Scientifically, there's always one that is the most. One tallest, one fattest, one darkest skin in our generation, right? So there's one person who's closest to God. Now, how would he behave? Socrates, who was considered a philosopher and somewhat of a scientist, said the righteous man would be put on a pole in the middle of town for everyone to see. And that was before all this technology, mind control, and everything else. It is safe to assume that the person who is the closest to God would be uncontrolled, and he would certainly not want to spread magic spells. Every time he gave you a scripture, he would elaborate on it over and over again to extract the truth and avoid the misconceptions which are purposely there. The Bible was given to you by people concerned with romance, right? Italians, French, Nicaea, the Roman Empire, Greeks, Romans, Italian, French. Okay, these are the main people. Of course, the Germans and the Northerners, the Northern Europeans were invaded. Nero, Germanicus, root to his names, and so on. So it's safe to assume and to know that if the righteous person was to come to America, he would be uncontrolled and he would rebuke every church for their magic spell, psychology-based propaganda system of quote-unquote Christianity. In fact, he would say that Christianity in the Bible and in liberal and other occultist-based versions that we have, okay, not everyone who talks bad about the Bible magically gives you the truth. Anyone who avoids African spiritual warrior narratives of the Bible, of history, obviously is a bad person with a complex. They don't measure up. They're not a great warrior, and they're racist to a certain degree. They're tribalists, certainly. They're saying, hey, that makes my race seem less spiritual than theirs. Cush begot Nimrod. Nimrod founded Babylon. Ham, Cush, Mizraim. Mizraim is the brother, of Cush. Excuse me. Yes. Mizraim is the brother of Cush, and Cush begot Nimrod. Okay, these are the Hamites. A hammer, go ham, and so on. So who put this thing together spiritually? It was the Hamites. They brought people together in a light temple warrior spirit, and gave us these societies. So the person closest to God is the type of people that God chooses, like Moses, to put these societies together. And now every word that we use is part of a magic spell. So unless we scrutinize it thoroughly, but not waste all of our lives dealing in magic, we're in trouble. The Africans said we'll have only an oral tradition to reduce the magic spell, right? A magic stick. You draw a symbol or a sigil in the sand or in the dirt or in the water when you stir. The witches stir the brew. The kettle, the cauldron, the substance, the chemical solution. The witches brew. Alcohol, Al-Ghul, turned to stone. Circe turned people to animals, turned them to stone. Instead of understanding the grace in the animal, they were fixating on the scientific qualities of the animal. This is why when you draw the sun, you draw a O. The O is not the ray. The O is not the ray. It is the center of the sun. The little dashes, the hyphens, the equals, the plus, the different slashes you have in Spanish and French, the straight line, the line going this way, these are part of the sun rays going different directions. They are also magic symbols. So when I say O-B, the word is God, not the written symbol, the word. What comes out of a man's mouth makes him pure or impure, not what goes in. Jesus never wrote anything down because that is what sorcerers did. Pagans, comes from pagos or something, which means hell. They're trying to make a mountain out of a molehill. And of course, a mole, the Bureau, the FBI, the plumbers, the pluggers, the shit pushers, the pedophiles, the rapists. So symbols are important. Even this hat, is something, it means California. No, Cali is a goddess. And these bears have to do with martial arts philosophy, the illusion. I wear it because my forehead looks bigger on camera and it plays me out in a way that's humorous. And that's part of their metamorphosis, metempsychosis, different kind of ways, transference, different ways to play people out, to make them seem like they're bitches. But who are the bitches? Who are the fucking cowards? Cowboys come to mind. They come together with ropes to gang up on one person and hang him. Every once in a while there's a big fat cowboy, right? But he's still a bully. A bully with a bully mentality. Like a football team, a bunch of big drunk knuckleheads that team up on one little geek or something. Really brave. But people who are brave, they see people in divinely inspired, deadly combat, in mortal, it's more telling, combat. Who has the Spirit of God? Should we have a thumb war? Should we wrestle in the mud like women? Should we go put your dukes up at the bar? Or should we man up and do transferable skills and spar the spirit. And if that's not good enough, I told them time again, then see me in the streets like a man, not a half man, which is a fucking transgender bitch, which is a cross-dressing he, she, pussy, but see me like a man. You fucking hermaphrodites. Could they do it? No, because America is a nation of psychotic therapists, psychologists, psychologic, psychologos, sick motherfuckers. And when you do the wordplay in the genealogy, the something-ites, the Israelites, the ites, the animalites, or something like that, right? You do it backwards. Seti, ites, Seti, Set-I, the eye of Set. And it gives you some kind of I have it written down. It talks about how you should rape the Pharaoh. I'll give you in this part. Hold on.